Greetings, everybody. I am going to do a second edition in our journey of adding SharePoint documents for our website to our document repository, and then creating doing some editing in the online browser or in your desktop version of Windows or Office, and then sharing that link to the website. I just want to show a couple of tips and tricks and issues that do arise with this. Um, I'm hoping I can demonstrate some of that today, but we'll just see how this all works out. I'm going to begin with I am going to be going to the SharePoint repository that has been assigned to my library, and it's going to ask me to log in. And I'm going to log in as this test user. It's going to ask me if I want to stay signed in, which I can. You may not need to log in every time because it may keep your login information. But basically what happens is I come up to this and I can see my website document repository. I can also see eventually some of this might get edited out, but you might be able to see some of the other libraries that have it. But if you click on theirs, oh, that's interesting. You're not supposed to. Oh, I think I know what I did. You probably won't be able to see other library information in there when the permissions are set up correctly. But what I want to share today is a little bit about when you start creating or editing documents in SharePoint Online. I have created for most libraries a set of 3 folders. You do not need to use these. Some tips and tricks about SharePoint is it behaves pretty much exactly like if you are using your file Explorer on Windows, is that you can come in here and you can create a new folder. You can move files between folders. It happens to work pretty much the same way. The difference right here is you are in your browser. There is there's also a method for advanced users that you can add this as a shortcut to your own personal OneDrive or your quick access. So I've done that with my work folders where right here I already have an access to all of my other SharePoint files. So I can actually get to them right here in my Windows File Explorer. I do not need to log into the browser every single time that I do this. Your mileage may vary based on the type of licensing and setup that you have, if you have a shared setup or if you are working with your own documents. So some of this may apply to you and may not. I can help you with that on an individual basis. But it is nice that you can often work, for example, with the WVLS website. I have our documents right here. I can go into the Board of Trustees agenda and minutes, and I can make edits to our our board documents right here in this folder without needing to do it in the browser window. Again, that's a little bit of a power user feature. If you want to move to that, please let me know, or if you can try it, see if it works for you, or I can help you with that. So once you pin those to that, you would work through here. I'm going to stay in the browser for today and show you a few of the things that can happen that may cause some consternation on occasion. So if I have a board document in here and I've been working on this, it's going to bring it up in the browser for editing. Some notes about editing in the browser is that it is a more simplified menu and view. And a frustrating thing that can happen is that if you are busy formatting things in this folder or in this browser window, what you see here may suddenly look funny to you. It might mess up the formatting. And I'm not sure I have a perfect example of that at this exact minute. Um, just because it sort of happens at its own will, but it might you might have formatted something in a different style or font, and it looks like things are crossing over, you have numbers or you have things happening on top of each other in the view window in the browser. If you're concerned about that and you aren't sure if this is actually affecting what it looks like when it's published, my trick to this is to go ahead and view it in an incognito window. So I am signed in here right now. I can tell that because when I click on this upper corner, it gives me a sign out option. It tells me the name of the person that is signed in. I have this information as I am seeing this information as a logged in because a user because I'm able to edit. If I want to see what it looks like to the general public, what I would do is I would click on this share and copy link. This is what you're going to do when you publish it to your to publish this to your website anyway. It's fine. And then it's going to tell me that the link is copied. I'm going to come over here and I always keep a browser on my computer. This is another kind of a power user move. I keep Firefox in my browser list. So I have Google Chrome, I have Microsoft Edge handy to me for another various reasons. And in my case, I keep Microsoft Firefox here not as my main browser, but I have it set up with settings in privacy and security to never remember history. This way, I know that every time I sign into Firefox, there's no account signed in, there's no information saved, no history saved. So I am coming here as if I am a person in the public who has never visited this website and isn't signed in. So now I can paste that link that public shared link that I got from my SharePoint file. I'm pasting that into my Firefox browser URL bar. And when I hit enter here, I'm going to see the public view. And the difference with this is notice there is no editor bar up at the top. And the choices are now down to accessibility mode, immersive reader, download, print. And it's asking me to sign in if I'm going to make any changes. So I wouldn't be able to do anything until I signed into my account here. Person from the public obviously isn't going to have the account. They can sign in with their own account, but they're not going to have the permission to do any editing to this document. You can, and it does give them a few more options here with can translate the document, download it, it can do some accessibility help. The accessibility help is really what is giving us the advantage over a screen or over a PDF as a screen reader. It knows how to work with this. And Microsoft has really set these up to be accessible in that sense. So once we publish something here and we passed our checks, we know that we can count on the tools being able to interact with this. A couple of notes. So you just see that this is what the final formatting looks like. This is if they were to print the page, if they were to download it as a PDF for their own purposes, it's going to have this format and look to it. If you come over here and it doesn't look the same as this, trust the print preview essentially of what you're seeing here and know that what you're seeing in your editor may not be accurate to what is going to be published. Excuse me. Another option that you have, if you are a person who has the desktop applications available to you for Word, you can click on the editing tool and you can open it in your desktop. And it's going to open up Microsoft Word. It's going to ask if you want to do this. And it will open it in Word. And now you have the old, good, familiar, complete tool set available to you, as opposed to the more limited, the limited tools that are available in the browser. So if you have access to the entire Microsoft desktop suite, you will be able to upload, but also then edit and make changes and save your SharePoint documents using the full desktop view. This can really help again when you are running into that issue if that the browser version just doesn't look like the formatting is taking or changes aren't appearing correctly. Do go ahead and open it and edit it here in the desktop view, and you'll get a much more reliable view. And again, its autosave is usually on, so it is saving versions and making version histories as it goes. That is another nice feature of this. I'm going to close out of the desktop view for a moment. Is once you have this saved to your SharePoint folder or begun in your SharePoint folder, by clicking on the title, you can do several things. You can change the name of the document. This will not affect, even if you've created a link and you've posted it to your website, you can still rename your document. You can actually come back to your document library and you can drag and drop between folders. And as long as you are using that shared link and you've posted it to your website, you can do a lot of organizing, reorganizing on the back end and still have full access to this through the link that is published to your website. So you're not breaking things by doing things like renaming your document or by having other changes, organizational changes happen. Another nice additional tool you have is the version history. So you can look back and see what changes were made on what day. And if you wanted to recover a previous version because something happened, so you accidentally deleted something, you can go back and you can open a previous version. You can view that version. You can come back here and say save a copy, or you can restore that version to work from. Sometimes this is nice. For example, this one was the first template version. If I wanted to save this as a copy and start my new agenda for my new month from it, that might be another tip and tool for this. Finally, one other nice feature, because of the version, when you have the version history and you are pulling and restoring, you can also create your own templates from that. And you can, I believe in here, I think you can save as, I should have checked this. Maybe you have to do that from the You might have to do that from the browser or from the desktop version. I did that the other day, but you can upload and save as a template. One way you can also do that is you can do new here and you can add template. So if you have a board policy or a library document that you frequently update, um, you can click on this add template. And what it will do is you can select any document you already have that you've been working from, and it will create it as a template. And notice that I have already added for you a template library board agenda. So if you add a template and you select another document, it will appear in this list for you so that you can name it and you can be like, maybe it's a template for a newsletter and you've already created it that's accessible. You've done all of the fixes on it that you need to do. And then you add that as a template, and then that will be there for you to just open and start editing as a new template. So that's a really nice feature and tool. A reminder that when you are in here to check accessibility, there will be under review, there is the check accessibility and it will scan it. And as long as you have check marks for all of these, and in the Word version, if you're editing in the desktop version, open that again. And if you're in the Word version and you go into review and you check accessibility, as long as you have all the good check marks and it says looks good, no issues found, then you are safe to publish it to the internet and have it as an accessible document on your website. So those are a little more tips, tricks, and insights into specifically Word documents. We will be having to cover things like Excel and newsletters in future editions of this, but this is just wrapping our heads around how to work within our SharePoint file online or and editing view and then moving between the desktop. And then some of the tools like version history and accessibility checks and creating templates for our use to make sure that we're starting with documents that are already clean and templated. Anybody have any questions on that? No? I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording and we will again have more on this and more work and practice on using SharePoint for our documents.